Hello, students. It's Miss Jai here again with another linking lesson. Remember that our linking lessons are presented by the Detroit Healthy Youth Initiative Program and Wayne State University. Today is lesson 9, which is vegetarian ways, okay? And so today's lesson is about vegetarianism and how to focus on eating healthy when you cut back on or don't eat any meat, okay? So by the end of this lesson, my goal is that you all will know more about foods other than meat that are high in protein, and you will also have an increased awareness of how to meet nutrient needs without meat as well. Okay, I want to help you work towards increasing your frequency of meatless eating. Okay, and so as I said before, we just want to focus and increase your awareness on how vegetarianism can be a healthy way to eat, and that hopefully this lesson should encourage you to consume more meatless meals. Okay, good with that? All right, let's go. So, first, let's talk about exactly what vegetarianism is. So, what does it mean to be a vegetarian? Okay. And to simply put it, it's basically when is a diet that's free of meat, fish, and poultry, right? That's simple. So, think about what foods don't vegetarians eat, right? So, when we're thinking about a diet that is free of meat, fish, and poultry, we can think about some examples of foods that vegetarians don't eat, like hot dogs, hamburgers, catfish, or like crab legs, shrimp, roasted chicken, fried chicken. Okay. But it is important to note that just like any other diet, vegetarian diets can look different based upon the person. There are really so many levels to vegetarianism. Some people omit beef and pork. Some people omit chicken, and others don't eat fish. But one thing to remember is that people who don't consume any animal products, so that's no meat, eggs, dairy, honey, anything like that, those people are called vegans. Okay, so remember that vegans are people who don't eat any animal product at all. Okay, kind of give you a difference between vegans, vegetarians, things like that. Okay, so thinking about your own experiences, are you a vegetarian, or do you know anyone who's a vegetarian? And if so, think about what foods you or that person actually excludes from their diet. Okay, and so you may be thinking like, well, what do vegetarians eat, right? So if you thought to yourself that they must eat plant-based foods, you were correct, right? A healthy vegetarian diet focuses on protein-rich vegetables and plant-based foods as well, okay? It includes a lot of those protein-rich vegetables. So now, what I want you all to do is I'm going to give you guys about a minute, and I just want you to kind of jot down some ideas of foods that a vegetarian could actually eat. Okay, so if you were to be a vegetarian for a day, or just thinking about vegetarianism, think about foods that they can eat. Okay, and I want you guys to write them down. Give you all some ideas. Get those brain juices flowing. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys 1 minute. You ready? And go. Mm. Okay. So hopefully you guys were able to jot down a lot of different ideas, got your brain juices flowing, got you guys thinking about some things, okay? But as I said before, I hope you guys wrote down some ideas just of some foods that vegetarians can eat, okay? Later on in the lesson, I'll kind of go over some vegetarian foods for you all, okay? Or some different ideas, okay? All right. So moving forward, let's take a look at our poster here. Okay. Our poster, this poster basically shows the balance between food and activities for vegetarians, and it provides information about each food group with the focus on meatless options as well. Okay. And I want you guys to kind of look at this poster and notice that there is no meat shown on this poster, right? But instead, they're showing good sources of meatless proteins, such as nuts and eggs and hummus, tofu, peanut butter, beans, and a soy patty is on here as well. Okay. Um, One thing to know is that a popular food in many cultures is hummus. That's why I kind of have it highlighted. A lot of people in a lot of cultures eat hummus. It's actually made from what is called garbanzo beans. Okay. Beans are good for you, and we know that. Can you guys kind of name some other beans? There are quite a few that are out there as well. So I named one, which is garbanzo beans, which is made, hummus is made from garbanzo beans. I'm going to give you guys about 45 seconds, and I just want you to jot down all the other beans that you can think about, okay? Name any other beans that you can think about, okay? If I give you guys about 45 seconds, okay? And then we'll talk about them. Ready, set, go. Okay, so did everybody write down some other types of beans? Okay, let's go over some. Okay, Miss Jai jot some down too. So if you got kidney beans, go ahead and pat yourself on the back. If you wrote down navy beans, go ahead and pat yourself on the back. If you wrote down soybeans or northern beans, go ahead and pat yourself on the back. If you wrote down pinto beans, pat yourself on the back. And last but not least, if you wrote down black beans, go ahead and pat yourself on the back. Okay. As I said before, beans are great for you. They have little to any fat or cholesterol. They're also high in protein, iron, and fiber. Remember what I told y'all, fiber is always good. Okay. And then actually, something else that you guys don't know if you all know, but tofu is a great source of protein, and it's actually made from soybeans. So another thing to kind of think about if you guys are kind of thinking about moving to the vegetarian way. That's just one thing to think about. Beans are a really big part of vegetarian diet because they're very high in protein, and they're able to get that protein that they need. Okay. Also, dairy foods like cheese and milk and yogurt and cottage cheese, they're also good sources of protein. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. So I just want you all to think about this and understand that vegetarians can get adequate nutrients daily by following the food group recommendations for age, gender, and activity level. Okay. Um, it's also good to understand that people in many countries eat less meat than Americans. Okay. I told you guys in the first lesson that we get too much protein. Americans get too much protein or too much meat, okay? And but in other countries, instead of them eating a 4 to 6 ounce like hamburger, what they do is that they put about an ounce or two of meat in their pasta or their rice or any other grain, right? Recommended amounts from the food groups for vegetarians really aren't that different from meat eaters, and we're actually going to go through the different uh, food recommendations, okay, and what the actual daily recommendations are, okay. We're going to go through each food group so you can kind of see. So the first one we have is grains, all right? And basically for a 2,000 calorie diet, and the reason why we're using 2,000 calories is because that's like the minimum or the standard for calorie intake every day for Americans. So as I said before, for a 2,000 calorie diet, you should eat about 6 ounces of whole grains daily, okay? And the serving size for a whole grain, what was considered one serving size or 1 ounce of a whole grain is about one slice of whole grain bread or a half a cup of whole grain cooked pasta or rice or cereal. Okay? Do we understand that? So about 1 ounce is a slice of bread. But we got to have 6 ounces of that. Okay? So those are just some things to think about. Next, we have vegetables, okay? And for a 2,000 calorie diet, you should consume about 2.5 ounces, 2.5 cups of vegetables daily, okay? And so when we say that, we say a serving size, 1 cup serving size is equal to about 1 cup of raw or cooked vegetables or juice, or 2 cups of raw leafy vegetables, okay? Good stuff, good stuff. You guys are writing this down. The next one is fruits. Okay. And for a 2,000 calorie diet for fruit, you should consume about 2 cups. Okay. So 1 cup serving size is equal to a 1 cup of fruit or juice or a half a cup of dried fruit. Okay. Everybody wrote that down? Okay. Next one is for a 2,000 calorie diet, you should consume about 3 cups of dairy daily. Okay, so the serving size for about 1 cup, it equals to about 1 cup of low-fat milk, or 8 ounces of low-fat yogurt, or 1.5 ounces of low-fat cheese. Cool. Okay, next one, protein. Okay. For a 2,000 calorie diet, you should consume about 5.5 ounces of protein daily. Okay. So your serving size is for 1 ounce. A 1 ounce serving size is equal to about 2 ounces of soy or bean patties, 1 egg, or a fourth cup of cooked dry beans, or 2 tablespoons of hummus, or 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. Okay. And as I said before, that I want you guys to understand that vegetarians can and do get the adequate amount of nutrients if they follow the food recommendations, the daily food recommendations. Okay. Okay. So with that being said, just to kind of sum up everything, that this was a pretty easy lesson, right? But just to sum up everything, we want to remember that vegetarianism can be a healthy way to eat. Okay, you want to remember that vegetarians can get the nutrition necessary for a healthy diet from fruits, vegetables, grains, dairy, and proteins. Okay, so we want to understand that and have a good idea for that. Okay. Also, that there are a lot of foods that are high and very rich in protein. So you got cheese, you got yogurt, all types of milk, cottage cheese. Also, we know that meat, fish, and poultry are very high in protein, but the other meat, but we're trying to shy away from meat, or we're not talking about meat. We're talking about vegetarianism. So we're talking about fruits and vegetables and non-meat sources. But also eggs, beans, and nuts. Okay, so those are just some foods that are very high in protein. Okay, and I also have, like I said before, I have some recipes for you all. I love to give you guys some kind of ideas of how you can do things. So I have some fun, healthy, meatless meals that the whole family can enjoy. Okay. So first we have the Good Morning Cobbler, okay, and comes from Michigan Harvest of the Month.org. And this comes from their recipes. And so it's really easy. It has the ingredients are you got 2 medium peaches. We had sliced or 1 canned sliced peaches, okay, packed with 100% fruit juice, of course. Then we also have 1 can of pear halves, drained and sliced, a 1/4 teaspoon of almond or vanilla extract, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, 3/4 cup of low-fat granola with raisins, and 2 cups of low-fat yogurt. And basically, all you do is you combine the peaches, pears, the extract, and the cinnamon in a large microwave-safe bowl. Stir well. Then you sprinkle some granola on the top, cover the bowl with plastic wrap, and leave a little opening for steam to get out. And then you microwave on high for about 5 minutes. Let it cool off. And then it says spoon low-fat yogurt into bowls and top with the fruit cobbler. Simple, real easy, and it sounds like a really good breakfast. Like that sounds so filling. And then all it is fruits and vegetables. I mean, not fruits and vegetables, fruits and yogurt. It sounds really good. Okay. All right. Let's see what else I have for y'all. All right. So this is the vegetable quesadillas, and this is also from the Michigan Harvest of the Month website. And here we have a 1/2 cup of green bell peppers chopped, a 1/2 cup of frozen corn thawed, a 1/2 cup of green onions sliced, a 1/2 cup of chopped tomatoes, 2 tablespoons of cilantro chopped. You have 4 whole wheat flour tortillas, and then then a 1/2 cup of low-fat cheese shredded, and then cooking spray. And so it says here, all we do is coat the medium skillet with nonstick cooking spray. We saute the bell peppers and corn over medium heat or until soft for about 5 minutes. Then we add the green onions and tomatoes, and then we cook until heated. Then we stir in that cilantro. And then we heat the tortillas in a separate skillet over high heat. We place equal amounts of cheese and sauteed vegetables on each tortilla. And then we just fold them in half and cook them on each side until the cheese is melted. And then that's it, right? Well, it sounds pretty good, and it actually looks pretty good by the look of this picture right here, okay? Pretty good. All right, moving on. Next, something real easy and something that you all have probably already had before, but it's always a good snack and a healthy snack, and it's the sweet potato fries. And here for our ingredients, and this is from cookingmatters.org, okay? The recipe is from cookingmatters.org. And so here all we do is we have 4 medium sweet potatoes, 1 and 1/2 teaspoons of paprika, mouthful, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper, an 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and then a tablespoon of canola oil. And so all we do is preheat the oven to about 450 degrees. Then you're going to scrub and rinse the sweet potatoes, pat dry. Then leaving the skin on, we just cut the sweet potatoes into French fry style strips or however you want to do it. And then in a large bowl, you mix the paprika, the salt, the pepper, and the cayenne pepper. You add oil, and then you blend with the fork until there are no lumps. And then after that, you add the sweet potato strips to the bowl. We toss it so we can coat it really nicely. Put it on the baking sheet, and then put it in the oven for about 15 minutes. And then halfway through, you want to turn the fries over and then bake for another 15 minutes or until the fries are pretty tender. Okay? Real easy, and it's real fun. It's a nice snack, and it's also healthy for you. Okay? All right. Our last one is ratatouille, right? This one that pretty much has a lot on there. Okay. So ratatouille, you got about 1 small red onion. We have 2 medium garlic cloves, 1 small eggplant, 1 medium zucchini, 1 medium yellow squash, 1 large tomato, 3 tablespoons of canola oil, 1 teaspoon of dried basil, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. And here what we do is we preheat the oven to 425 degrees. We're going to peel and rinse. We're going to rinse and peel the onion. We peel the garlic. We rinse the eggplant, zucchini, squash, and tomato. We dice the onion and eggplant. We slice the zucchini and squash. We chop the tomato, and then we mince the garlic. Or you can just buy minced garlic. Okay. And then in the medium bowl, we add the onion, eggplant, all of our vegetables, and all of our seasoning. We toss it until the vegetables are well coated. And then we place it on a baking sheet, spread it out, bake it in the oven for 20 minutes. We take it out. Then we add the tomatoes to the baking sheet. We put it back in the oven. We stir it occasionally until the vegetables are golden crisp for about 15 more minutes. Okay. I get excited because I really love ratatouille. I love the recipe. It's a dish that is perfect to vary your vegetables, and it even includes some dark greens as well. Okay. So as I said before, now that we kind of discussed how we can eat healthy without eating meat, what are some meatless meals that you've had? Some of my favorites were listed in our presentation, like omelets with veggies, or low fat with veggies and low fat cheese, or eggs, or whole grain toast. I also like veggies. You can, a veggie sub on a whole grain bread, or whole grain spaghetti without meat in the sauce, right? But as I said before, I just want you to kind of like just think of some meatless meals that you've had and how can you move forward, okay? And that brings me to my healthy homework, right? And so this week's healthy homework is just to have a vegetarian dinner without any meat, fish, or poultry, okay? That's it. Real simple, real easy. I gave you guys some kind of ideas, so you'll have some ideas out there. But you can kind of come up with your own vegetarian dinner, or your spin on a meal that has meat in it to make it not have meat in it. So you can kind of put your own spin on those type of meals to make meals meatless if you like. Okay, so that's all that I have for you guys today. As I said before, remember, healthy homework. Try to have a vegetarian dinner with no meat, fish, or poultry. Make it a family thing. Make it really fun. Get creative. I love when you guys get creative, because I know you all can do that, and it makes it more fun. Okay? Are we good with that? Cool. All right. Well, that concludes the lesson for today, lesson 9, vegetarian ways. And I look forward to seeing you guys again. Okay? Bye. Remember to stay safe.